Hey guys, it's Hannah here and I am back today with my what I wore in January and February. I obviously didn't get around to doing this video last month, so I have 2 makeup bags worth of goodies here for what I've used in the last 2 months. Please ignore the things behind me. We're in a state of organizing, starting to pack things up. Long time till I actually need to pack things up, but we're just trying to get this space sorted out, so the boxes will hopefully be gone soon. But let's just get in to what I wore in the month of January and my thoughts on them. Stick around. Alright, January is in the Skin Rocks bag, so let's go through it. This is what I took to the States with me and then what I used once I got home. So things I took to the States with me: the Natasha Denona Glam Face and Eye Palette. This is a favorite, particularly for travel, because it has 5 fantastic Natasha Denona eyeshadows, a cream blush and a highlight, and it is just perfect for travel in my opinion. It is my go-to. This one has been to the States with me at least twice, which I think is how long I've had it for. While I was in the States, I got my Natasha Denona My Dream palette, and that is something I started incorporating into my routine pretty quickly once I received it. It was the start of January when I got this one. So another gorgeous Natasha Denona neutral eyeshadow palette. It's got a couple of pops with the burgundies in the corner and a matte black, but I really enjoy this palette. I'm really glad I finally picked it up. Something else that I took with me because I was there over, so the stuff I took with me to the States, I used like the last week of December as well. So I was there over Christmas and I was there over New Year's, and I really wanted some sparkle. So Urban Decay Moon Dust came with me. Love these eyeshadows. I got the most use, obviously, out of Space Cowboy. It just is the best. And then Space Star Cowgirl as an inner corner highlight. It's kind of my go-to with this palette. I didn't take these with me. This is what I used when I got back. It was my second set of Oden's Eye eyeshadows. So I used these when I got back from the States as a continuation on from December. Really gorgeous shadows in here. My most used, it was obviously this top row was, bottom row was my most used. Blended well with both of the mattes. Really like these eyeshadows from Oden's Eye. Really glad they expanded the range there. Natasha Denona My Mini Dream also came with me on the trip. This was what I paired with the Moon Dust for mattes. This is just such a staple palette in my collection. It's got 3 fantastic mattes that really work with everything. 2 shimmers, and again I paired it with the Moon Dust when I wanted a little bit more sparkle, and that's more of a cooler tone compared to my Glam Face and Eye, which was warmer. So that was kind of my combination there. The powder I brought with me, I brought 2, depending on whether I was using a liquid or not. So liquid foundation, the MAC Studio Fix Pro Satin Blur. I brought this on the trip having never tried it, and thankfully I liked it. I thought I'd be okay because I obviously was going into quite a cold climate, so I didn't need to be super matte. So this worked really well for me and I did really enjoy it. And then for just concealer and powder days, my One Size Turn Up the Base Versatile Powder Foundation. This is my favorite powder foundation. This is my brand new one. I have panned one of these completely. I was kind of either full glam or no makeup. There was only a couple of days that I did wear this, but I love it. On days that I was going for the one size, I did use my NARS Night Swan Concealer. This is the light reflecting eye brightener, and I think this is a perfect concealing product for those no makeup days. It's really nice and creamy, which you're kind of worried in this kind of pot format whether it will be creamy enough, but it definitely was. And it's just nice. It gives a brightness under the eye, but it also gives some coverage, which I think is perfect, but also blends out beautifully. Really great for those no makeup days. And before I got that, my concealer that I had on hand was obviously my Natasha Denona. This is the one that I know will work no matter what. It's fantastic. I love it. I did a just concealer and powder day with this before I got the NARS, and I used this and the MAC, and I used this as my foundation, and it was great. When I got to Melissa's and I got my face bond, it paired perfectly with that. This is the Urban Decay Face Bond in the shade 5. This was my liquid foundation. I didn't take anything with me, but this is what I used when I was overseas, and then when I got back, I finished working on my One Size Triple B cream, which is not even in here. I use that for both months, and I finished panning that, which has already been updated in this video, so it's in my empties box. But the One Size Triple B cream was the other foundation I used. So that's what I used while I was away, and then I used the One Size when I got back. When I got back, I also pulled out my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder in Pound Cake, because I'd only just started using this before I went away, so I wanted to play with it a little bit more. I do like this more than I like the MAC powder for sure, but it's definitely bulkier, so the MAC was the right choice for travel. I also played with the Faux Filter Concealer when I got back, again, not being fully confident in how this was. I'm glad, because this is a little bit too light for me, so it works, but I'm glad I took the Natasha Denona with me. My Bobbi Brown correcting stick is what came with me overseas. This was just easier to take with me than my Sigma, because it just rolls up and there's not a little mirror in there to break. Let's go cheek products that came with me. So I obviously had the Glam Face and Eye palette. For bronzer, I had the L'Oreal Infallible Freshwear bronzer. Again, something that's quite inexpensive if it broke and I needed to replace it, but also a phenomenal bronzer. I love this so much. We had the Natasha Denona My Mini Dream Glow Blush. I basically, besides the lip products, brought this entire collection, or purchased this collection. I love this stuff. This one's got a great neutral toned blush and a highlighter there. Pretty similar to the blush shade in the face palette, but a little bit different. And then the Buxom Seychelles Wanderlust blush is a little bit more bronzy. Again, I went fully cool tone with my cheeks, which is interesting because I definitely played up some warmth on my eye. And then the Sephora Colourful Luminizer in the shade Iced Pearl. Again, a cooler tone of a highlighter. All right. Eye primer. I didn't know how much was still in my NARS, and I still never know how much is in my NARS, so I did take my Ulta Beauty matte eye primer with me just because I didn't know. So that was what came with me. The other sparkle I played with quite a bit, I played with this quite a lot, was the Too Faced Disco Crush in Magic Sprinkles. This is just so special. This is actually what I wore on New Year's Eve. It just has an even more intense sparkle and shine to it than the Moon Dust. And it is just so pretty, which is why I'm surprised that I had only cool tone cheeks. For lips, I had two lip liners. We had Badass from Too Faced, which is a peachy nude. This is a click up lip liner. Like, you click the love heart and it clicks up so it doesn't click back down. Really love this formula. I think I like the Too Faced more than I like the Rare Beauty. The Rare Beauty stays a little bit better though. This is Rare Beauty worthy, and it is just a little bit more of that pinky tone neutral, which works perfectly with the e.l.f. Colourpop Glowing Lip in I Don't Know. Like, look at how much I've used of this. Like, that is a favorite lip product that usually is the one that travels with me, but it doesn't have a name, so there's that. Then we have Beauty and the Beast from Sigma lip cream in Spellbound. This was if I want something a little bit more brownie. But my go-to was actually my Natasha Denona High Gen Tinted Lip Mask. It was just a tinted lip balm in baby nude, very nude. It was kind of just, it's really cold, so I need some hydration on my lips, and this was what I went for. Alright, so that was January. That was kind of a lot because it was the last week of December. And then January, primers. The primer I used when I went away was the Wet n Wild, and then the Hourglass when I got back. Setting spray. What setting spray did I take? Oh, my baby Charlotte Tilbury airbrush is what I took with me while I was away. All right, let's get on to February. So short month. I finished off my One Size Triple B cream and then started on my Makeup Forever Ultra HD. Oh, brows. What did I take for brows? I took precisely my brow wax is what I took with me to the States for brows. And then the mascara, I took the, where is it? Where is it? Just gets lost in this little space. So I took my Rare Beauty and then I got my Tarte, and that's what I used for the month of January. In February, I kept using the Tarte and the Rare Beauty, and then I still have my Cali Ray Come Hell and High Water and the Clinique High Impact. These are going to be finished at the end of this month, so I'll give you my final thoughts on them when I do my what was in my March makeup bag. Brows are the same. Obviously, my Project Pan products are in here as well, so I'm not going to mention those. But just quickly my powders, because it's the one that's really is the one size. But otherwise, go check out my Project Pan video for the other products. This is the other things that I used in the month of February. So a lot of this was continuation of new products that I purchased when I was overseas. So my cheek products in particular, we had the Gucci bronzing powder. This is gorgeous. This is shade 1 and it's actually quite dark. I definitely couldn't go darker than this, and it's definitely more of a reddy tone bronzer, but it's been working gorgeously as it is summer. It is now March. It was summer in February when I used this. And then the other, I have 2 velvet pouches in 1 month because I was fancy. The Tom Ford Rose Iris is just absolutely gorgeous. It's this gorgeous soft pink but really glowy highlighter. It's beautiful. All right, base products, finished up the Triple B and moved on to the Makeup Forever primer. I did include the mattifying primers a little bit this month. I tried out the Refi. I'm not super convinced on its mattifying yet, so when it was super hot, I did use my Pore Eclipse and that's nearly done. And then again, my Hourglass. Concealer wise, color correcting is Sigma, and then I use the Valentino. I am partially really glad that I dislike this. I don't know. I will use this, but I will not repurchase this. I don't hate it enough to not use it up, but it is not a favorite, and I'm very glad considering how much I love the Valentino foundation. If I'd loved this concealer as much, that would have been bad for my bank account. Thankfully, like the Natasha Denona, it's not cheap, but still. Thankfully, I don't love this, but also kind of annoyingly, I don't love this. So, again, I'll use it up, but definitely not a favorite. All right, for blush, we have my MAC, and I had the Beauty and the Beast cheek palette that I would top that with. So this one we've got, when we've got some warmer tones, we've got the Lumiere highlighter. Beauty within is a great bronzy, and then a bit of a coral in something sweet, which is great. And then for more cool tone topping days, the Hourglass Mood Exposure Blush is just a gorgeous little topper there. Eyes, Natasha Denona Mini Beaver Palette. This was great. I brought this one in because it is mostly matte, and then it has the one that I can use on the lid. But what I mostly paired this with was my e.l.f. shadows. So these are the e.l.f. Finest Fleck Glitter Shadows. I used White Hot as the highlight shade, and it is just a icy white, but Champagne Showers, it's not as pretty as Space Cowboy, but it is pretty in its own right. And then I also paired it with Sona Sona from Kulfi. This, I did find I had to be a little bit careful with it to not overdo how wet my eyes were, which is an interesting thing to say because it is so moussey. If I tried to build up any of the pigment to it, it would just get really creasy. So I kind of just settled it for it being this kind of sheer shimmer, which is fine. But just letting you know, when I tried to build it up to be, to have that pigment, it didn't work for me. We're going to do the lips because the big palettes I'm going to do at the end in case you don't want to support that company, and that is fine. Lips, we had 3 lip liners. Where's the other one? Hiding in the bottom of the bag. There it is. 3 lip liners. Sephora Collection Rosewood. This was much darker. Well, you swatch it and like you look at this and it doesn't look super dark, and then you look at the swatch and it's quite deep. So I wore that kind of, I lined and then blended it in, which works well for the Sephora liners because they are that little bit creamier. Good old Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. Nice for that pinky lip. Pairs perfectly with Makeup by Mario Rose Glow. Like that was my pinky lip combo, was those two. It's great. But then my most worn was Natasha Denona. I Need a Nude from the My Dream collection in Natasha. It is my go-to nude lip liner. It is gorgeous and it worked beautifully. I did do the e.l.f. with the Sephora collection. So the e.l.f. and the Sephora collection was that more thing. The one I wore the most was the Colourpop So Juicy in vacay mode, and that one went perfectly with Natasha. Like, look at those combos of glossy things. I did also have Rare Beauty Worthy, which I'd blend with Natasha to cool it down a bit. Nude Venus from the Satin Allure, again goes beautifully with Natasha. Topped with that Colourpop was great. And then when I just wanted something sheer, the Milani Fruit Fetish in Raspberry Peach. It's just a really fun, sheer, pinky shade. I really enjoyed playing with lips, but yeah, my most worn was definitely Natasha with the vacay mode from Colourpop. Like, that was a great combo. And now I'm going to try and have to get these lip liners off. If you are not supporting Emsley Rain anymore, thank you for watching this video. I will no longer be purchasing from this brand, but I will be using the products that I have already purchased. So, the 2 palettes that I had purchased right before all of the drama with this brand went down was the Light in Your Eyes and the Groovy Garden palette. And I really wish there wasn't controversy around this brand because I love this formula of eyeshadow. It is phenomenal. It is such a gorgeous formula. Their shimmers are so impactful. The mattes are beautiful. I have the B-roll going over. This is Groovy Garden. It's this neutral with a greeny twist, and it was beautiful. My Jazzed was the one that I really liked in this one that I didn't think I would. It's like a peach with a green shift. So I really liked that one. Light in Your Eyes was the one I wore the most though, as we can imagine, because it is the more true neutral leaning, the cool tone neutral. Like, it's beautiful. And all of the shimmery shades that had some more, like, not traditional shimmers, but like some just sparkly metallics as well as the duochromes, whereas the In the Garden mostly has duochromes. This just has some sparkly, so like Endless Light, Besties, Glimmer in Time, and Eyes That Light Up are more metallics with sparkle in them. Radiant Soul is this gorgeous peaked gold. Like I really enjoy this formula. Unfortunately, it's not a brand I will purchase from, but I will use what I have. So there's that. So yeah, lots of makeup that I've used in the last 2 months sitting here before me. It looks like a lot, but it's really been fun to play around with things. I've had obviously a lot of new things in my collection, and I'm still playing with some of that this month in March. So let me know that you're enjoying this series still. I love kind of recapping what I wore and my thoughts on them to give you kind of these updated reviews. Yeah. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you've been playing with lately. I'd love to know. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Click subscribe to stay tuned for more. And I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.